The morning air in Soweto was thick with the scent of coal fires and the nervous electricity of youth. 12-year-old Hector laced his shoes, his heart beating in sync with the distant, rhythmic chanting beginning to rise across the township. It was a day meant for school, but it had become a day for a stand. The streets swelled with color, the gray of school uniforms stained by the red dust of the earth. Thousands of voices, high-pitched and resolute, rose in unison, singing songs of defiance. Hector marched among them, a small figure in a sea of shared conviction, his eyes fixed on a horizon that promised a future where their own tongue could be spoken without shame. The horizon darkened, not with clouds, but with the cold, metallic glint of police vehicles. The air shifted. The chanting faltered as the heavy canisters hit the ground, hissing, vomiting plumes of acrid tear gas that clawed at the lungs and blinded the eyes. The peaceful melody of the march dissolved into the jagged, discordant symphony of panic. Then came the cracks, sharp, sudden, and final. It was not a warning, it was a harvest. Hector, caught in the swirling gray fog, felt the world tilt. There was no pain at first, only a sudden, heavy warmth spreading across his chest, and then the sickening gravity of the earth rising up to meet him. The street became a blur of chaos. Mbuisa, a young man who had only moments ago been a stranger, saw the boy fall. Without a thought for his own safety, he scooped the limp weight of Hector into his arms. His legs churned against the asphalt, muscles straining, his eyes searching frantically for salvation in the form of a passing vehicle. Beside them, Antoinette ran with the frantic, bird-like intensity of a sibling trying to outrun death itself. Her screams were a raw, piercing sound that tore through the gunfire and the smoke, a mother's grief in a sister's heart. She reached out, her fingers brushing Hector's slack hand, begging him to stay, begging the world to notice, begging for a mercy that was nowhere to be found. The arrival at the clinic was a blur of fluorescent lights and sterile indifference. The silence that followed the frantic entry was heavier than the gunfire had been. The doctors didn't need to speak. The hollow look in their eyes confirmed that the breath of the boy had been stolen by a system that feared the sound of children speaking their own truth. Outside, the dust began to settle. A single camera shutter clicked, capturing the agony of the moment. Mbuisa, bent by the weight of the dying boy, and Antoinette, her face contorted in a scream that would echo through the decades. That image traveled across oceans, a quiet, frozen witness that tore the mask off a nation's shame and forced the world to look, finally, at the cost of silence.